having a great time here.
Great
Good evening and welcome to Social Venture Partners Fast Pitch event presented by TMC Healthcare. Thank you. I am John Peter Wilhite, Director of Community Impact, and I am grateful to see all of you in the audience tonight. Social Venture Partners Tucson, or as we like to say, SVP, is thrilled to bring Fast Pitch to our community for the 5th year. For the last 2 months, we have worked closely with the 14 nonprofits you will meet tonight. Take a moment and look around this auditorium to see how our community has come together to support these nonprofits. Thank you for your continuous support of the incredible work of our community organizations are doing to create a more caring and just society here in Tucson. SVP Tucson's Fast Pitch program is an extension of the work we do year-round, strengthening nonprofits, inspiring individuals, and ultimately making our community a better place for everyone. And to gain a better understanding of SVP Tucson, watch this welcome video from our CEO, Sierra Garcia.
Hello, everybody. On behalf of Social Venture Partners Tucson, or as we say, SVP, welcome to Fast Pitch. 5 years ago, we brought Fast Pitch to Tucson with the vision to provide much-needed resources to the nonprofit sector, to amplify their voices here on this stage, and to bring our community together around a common vision, a better Tucson. You may know us as the organization that puts on Fast Pitch. We are that, and so much more. Fast Pitch is an extension of the work we do year-round at SVP, helping individuals realize greater impact with their giving, strengthening nonprofits, and investing in collaborative solutions. You see, SVP is a partnership comprised of individuals, businesses, and foundations, people for whom creating a better world is a part of our life's work, and people who believe that nothing truly great is ever accomplished alone. We do this by investing in nonprofits who are creating positive social change. We bring money, but we also bring time, talent, experience, and skills so that they can do more and do it better. We are ready to share an exciting evening with you. My hope is that you'll leave here tonight feeling inspired. There are a lot of ways that you can get involved. Make a donation to the organization that touches your heart. Get involved as a volunteer or board member. And consider getting to know SVP Tucson a little better. Without further ado, enjoy the show.
Speaking of tonight's show, these last 2 months could not have happened without the support of our sponsors. For 5 years, corporations, foundations, and individuals from our community have invested in this program because they understand the value it adds to making Tucson a better place for all. And right now, I want to take a moment to honor and thank our sponsors. And what I'm going to ask you to do in the audience, if you can just stay with me through the whole process. I think my mic might be changing a little bit on me. Can you guys all hear me? Okay, good. Stay with me for a moment. I'm going to go through the list, and we'll clap at the end. Does that work for everybody? You're so awesome. That's what I like about a good audience like you. Tucson Electric Power, Connie Hillman Family Foundation, Citi, Marshall Foundation, Next Trio, Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, Arizona Complete Health, Alliance of Arizona Nonprofits, UBS Rodenstein, Biz Tucson, Gadabout, Tucson Federal Credit Union, Candy and Tom Grogan, Ann Maley and Tim Schaffner, Deb and Craig Watson, Crest Insurance, Fleming and Curdy, Ann and John Duffy, Pam Grissom, Sarah Simpson, Hannah Miller and Luke Jacobson, Renee Morton, Jane Regal and John Smith, KXCI, Desert Leaf, Amy Charles and Steve McMillan. I'm almost there, promise you. Joanne and Howie Adams, Margaret and George Larson, Adeline and Dan Clemenson, Helene Levy, Linda and Brian Hall, Judy Gans, Joe Colt, Joanna Barsh, David Garbaz, Susan Comstock and Mark Rofus, Cynthia Dickstein and Frank Grumstrom, Donna Prescott and Steve Gaynor, Lori and Mike Bryant, Beth Miller and Chip Perry. And tonight wouldn't be possible also without our Fast Pitch presenting sponsor, TMC Healthcare.
Our mission is to provide exceptional health care.
With compassion, we aspire
to serve our community
by being the best health system,
as measured by the quality of care we deliver,
the experiences we create, and the value we bring.
We are only here to serve our community. For 75 years, that has been our vision of health for you and your family. TMC Healthcare, created to care.
Thank you. 7 of this year's 14 Fast Pitch finalists were chosen to present tonight. You will hear these nonprofit leaders deliver a message they have worked diligently on. While the presenters are delivering their pitch, there's a group of individuals paying close attention to their message. This group is our illustrious panelists of judges. Like you, they are members from this community who believe in the work of our nonprofit organization. Each judge is paired with a presenter to ask clarifying questions at the end of their pitch. Let's meet this incredible team of judges. Kendall Washington White, University of Arizona Vice Provost and Dean of Students. Miguel Cruz, Vice President of Marketing, Tucson Federal Credit Union. Julia Strange, Vice President of Community Benefit, TMC Healthcare. Lindsay Welsh, Vice President, Community Relations and Business Development, Crest Insurance. Lupita Murillo, Investigative Reporter, KVOA. Marty Pritz, Treasurer, TEP. And Trina Parvello, Director of Public Relations and Communications at Tohono O'odham Gaming Enterprise. Let's give them a big round of applause and a warm welcome. Thank you for your time, and thank you so much for all your support. So this is where I'm going to do a little song and dance, and we didn't tell you about this part, but no, I'm kidding. But I got to do a little movement here, and yeah, this is just that kind of like stage transition, if you know what I mean. When I think about the impact the nonprofit community has on meeting the needs of underserved individuals in our community, I'm always reminded that we have a strong and vibrant nonprofit community that is striving to address how we solve problems and address the opportunities that impact our community. Tonight's keynote speaker is someone who can really attest to the work of nonprofits in our community and throughout the state of Arizona. Kristen Merrifield, CEO, Alliance of Arizona Nonprofits, is a proven leader across multiple sectors invested in development and success of others. She has more than 16 years' experience leading efforts to support community stakeholders, including extensive involvement working with professional associations, chambers of commerce, and various community and business organizations. Kristen is a fierce competitor, never satisfied with resting on her laurels, and is always looking for the next big challenge to conquer. She is driven to be the best while remaining authentic and invested in the success of others. Wicked smart, calm under pressure, a seasoned leader, and skilled communicator, she knows how to solve the big problems and create consensus around complex issues. Her why is to be the best version of herself so that she can share knowledge and experience with others to help them reach their full potential. Without further ado, please welcome Kristen Merrifield.
Thanks, John. I'd like to begin tonight by asking you all to do a little something with me. Are you up for it? All right, you're a great crowd, I can already tell. But I'm going to ask you actually to take a breath with me, all right? So we're going to all breathe in and then back out. That felt pretty good, but I'm going to ask you to do it one more time. And this time, when you breathe in, I want you to count in your head with me, all right? So let's breathe in, counting 1, 2, 3, and then counting again as you exhale. 1, 2, 3. That feels pretty good, doesn't it? You're actually all in your Zen place now, which is exactly where I want you to be for tonight. That air moving in and out of your lungs is something that, while we can't see it, it moves us. It gives us that life-giving support that we need to live and to do the things we love most in life. It also gives us the strength and endurance to overcome some of life's most difficult challenges. You've probably often heard or even said, I just need a moment to catch my breath. This unseen yet powerful force is always present, yet not often considered until we do what we just did. Take a moment to pause and allow ourselves to focus in on it. Just like our breath, the work of charitable nonprofits is interwoven into every aspect of our lives, from birth, through life, and even in death. The challenge is that nonprofit work is indeed like our breath in that we may take it for granted because we can't see it, and therefore we may not value it accordingly. We often value only the things we can measure, those tangible things that we can see and touch in our current reality. We may not think that we'll ever lose our job or our home, so we may not value nonprofits that provide employment services or build low-income housing or run a food bank. We may not think that we'll ever have a disability, so we may not value nonprofits who work tirelessly to make sure that buildings are accessible. And if you're like me, you may think and hope your kids will never be bullied. So you may not value nonprofits working hard to end bullying in our schools. It's in these moments we realize the most important things in our life can't be measured. Just like we can't count the number of breaths we have left in our lives, we can't value the work of nonprofits until we move beyond just the data and the numbers. It's then we have the opportunity to be moved beyond measure. Popular nonprofit blogger Vu Le, who many of you may be familiar with, he spoke here a few years ago. He's a nonprofit blogger, and he shared a post a while back on social media about this concept that individuals want nonprofits to behave more like businesses, to which he then asked his audience to then treat nonprofits more like businesses. As you can probably imagine, this post resonated pretty strongly with his nonprofit audience, who shared it more than 25,000 times on social media. However, it also received its fair share of backlash from the for-profit sector. One comment read, "A VC, or a venture capitalist, won't sink millions of dollars into complex social issues because they won't directly get anything in return, even if the social problems are solved." So this person is not even willing to invest in the work of nonprofits, even if we all achieve our missions and we solve all the problems in our community. So, crazy question. What if we all wake up tomorrow and all the nonprofits are gone? That's nearly 4,000 organizations in Pima County alone, gone overnight. Nonprofits are the 5th largest non-government employer in the state of Arizona, responsible for 167,000 jobs. 325,000 jobs when you consider the indirect impact when we pay our vendors and suppliers, which could be many of you in the room that own your own business. That's 63,000 jobs gone in Pima County alone. In that scenario, how many of you are waking up tomorrow without a job? It's okay, raise your hands, I know who you are. Hey, I'm with you. I'm in the unemployment line and now I don't have any nonprofits to help me. Nonprofits generate $10.4 billion. That's billion with a B, a very big number. They generate that much in revenue for Arizona's gross state product every year, which balloons to 12 billion. Again, billion with a B. When you think about that ripple effect, when we pay our employees and they go and spend that money in the community, or when we again pay our vendors and suppliers and they do the same. Without the contribution of nonprofits, that's $4.3 billion gone from the Pima County economy. These are big, big numbers, folks. What would that kind of impact look like to you, your family, your fellow neighbors here in Tucson? Do you love all of this free art and music that surrounds us? This is probably because there are nonprofits supporting the amazing artists and musicians in our community. Do you rely on local talent for employees at your company? It's probably because there are nonprofits providing things like job readiness skills or employment services. Do you or your loved one have a serious illness? There are probably nonprofits right now working hard to find the cure. I know what you're probably thinking at this point. All the nonprofits gone overnight? Really? Nobody's going to let that happen, right? And you're probably right. But what if just one person that needs our help doesn't get it? What if that one person is you, your spouse, your child, or your friend? How do you even begin to measure that kind of impact? The truth is, it can't be measured. At that point, we are all moved beyond measure to get whatever resources we need for us or our person. Here's the thing. Nonprofits view every person as you view your person. Your person is our person. A while back, I found myself in a similar position as probably many of you find yourselves tonight. I wanted to make an impact on my community. And as often is the case, I started by looking for a nonprofit on which I could serve on the board of directors. I asked around with my colleagues, and I was referred to an organization called Gabriel's Angels. And I know several of you know their work. They're here in Southern Arizona as well. Their mission is to provide healing pet therapy to abused, neglected, and at-risk kids. It was the perfect blend of my love for kids and my love for animals. All of you probably, again, are in a similar spot. You're volunteering, you're serving on the board, you're donating, you are supporting your community. At the time, I was a busy professional, and I still am, but I had just gotten married and became an overnight stepmom to 2 teenage boys. I hear the groans, you feel me on this. Overnight, my world was turned upside down. And now I was a board member and a volunteer. In fact, I think I even got voluntold to be the board treasurer. I guess I like numbers, but not that much. I was going to their events. I was listening to all the data and the numbers about how they were impacting the lives of children in our community. I was moved in my role as a board member to even become a donor. I was so moved, I decided to become a pet therapy team with my Yorkie Snickers. And yes, he was just as cute as it sounds. I'll never forget our first therapy visit. Here we were in the car, navigating our way, trying to follow the GPS with little Snickers in his little car seat. And I remember the GPS taking me down what I thought was a very normal looking street. I was a little surprised because we were going to visit children in a foster home. And I remember driving down the street, and it looked like any street in any city in Arizona. All the houses looked the same, the tile roofs. And we pulled into the driveway, got to the front door, and they greeted us, and we came in, my little Yorkie in tow. And again, I remember thinking, this is a very normal looking house. In fact, I could still smell the spaghetti on the stove of where the kids had just had dinner. But I knew in my heart, this was the furthest thing from a normal family home. All of us gathered in the large living room, and the kids were visibly excited to see what they referred to as the puppy. And Snickers was about 10 years old already at the time. But he only weighed about 5 pounds, so it was easy to see why they called him that. At any given time when we visited, there were about 6 to 8 kids, ranging from about 5 years old to 11 years old. That first visit, though, I remember one child standing out to me. We'll call him Thomas. Thomas was very rambunctious. He's probably what you would call the alpha of the group. And he was definitely high-spirited, did not like to share, especially when it was time to play the dog grooming game on my iPad. And yet, he tugged at my heart. And honestly, I just wanted to take him home. In fact, he reminded me a little bit of my little brother, who also is a bit of a terror, but who I would have done anything for. Then one day, Snickers and I came to our regular visit there at the group home, and Thomas wasn't there. He was gone. No reason, no explanation, just gone. I drove home that night, and my mind could not stop thinking about where had Thomas gone. Was he given back to his parents? And if he was that a good thing? Was he adopted? Honestly, I just hoped that he was safe. I got home that night and I was sitting at the kitchen island and I looked out the back patio doors and I could see my husband and our youngest son on a full-on hunt for lightning bugs. They had the jars, they had the flashlights, they were having a great time with each other. I could hear my oldest son down the hallway laughing hysterically at what I assumed was the latest YouTube video he had uncovered. Then it hit me. I was going out and making these therapy visits and meeting with these children, and I was coming right back home to my own blended family, which, if not for my husband and I getting married and having the resources to bring our boys to live with us full time, our boys could have been in a very similar situation. Those kids could be my kids. That nonprofit was caring for those children as if they were their own kids. In that moment, I was moved beyond measure. This became a part of who I was. I was moved beyond my role as a board member, beyond my role as a volunteer, or even a pet therapy team. I was now an advocate for this nonprofit, for these children, for Thomas. And the opportunity to touch just one life was enough for me to support that organization from that day forward. Tonight, we all have the opportunity to be moved beyond measure. We are all empowered to make sure that nonprofits have the resources and the support they need to continue to be there for us when we need them the most. And that just like our breath, we don't take them for granted. And we, as the nonprofit sector, don't take any of you for granted. Here's the thing. What you may not realize, you are the breath of nonprofits, enabling us to continue to do the work and give the life-giving support to our communities that we all need. So, sit back, relax, enjoy the incredible stories that you are about to hear, and breathe it all in. And tonight and every day forward, you have the incredible opportunity to breathe it all back out. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. Let's give Kristen one more round of applause. Thank you for reminding us why we are here tonight. you have highlighted the importance of the work our nonprofit community does and why we have to continue to support and work with our nonprofit organizations if the goal is a thriving, caring, and giving community. As Sierra addressed earlier in her video, our work at SVP Tucson is supporting our local nonprofits to be all they can be, and one of the programs where we make this happen is our Fast Pitch program. Fast Pitch is celebrating its 5th year and has impacted over 75 nonprofit organizations. That's pretty impressive. Staff from local nonprofit organizations go through a 2-month program where they gain valuable skills to increase their effectiveness as communicators. And tonight, you will hear from 7 of these individuals. But to be selected for Fast Pitch, nonprofit organizations from our community submit applications and are screened with a rigorous selection process. Once the finalists are chosen, we pair them with 2 mentors who come from varied professional backgrounds from our community. Over the next 8 weeks, each participant works with their mentors to create a powerful story and a meaningful ask for their organization. Next, they get the opportunity to practice delivering that message in front of a panel of experts as well as their fellow finalists. After the final practice session, 7 stage presenters are chosen to deliver their pitches. And I have to tell you, selecting those 7 is no easy process because all 14 of those finalists, they have worked extremely hard to get to that final practice session. So before we get to the pitches, I want to introduce you to the 14 finalists who have graduated from the 2019 Fast Pitch program. They deserved to be recognized. Starting with Alan Stockelberg, Parent Aid Child Abuse Prevention Center. R.C. Cornidez, Help and Hope for Youth, a program of NAMI of Southern Arizona. Carolyn Gorst, Junior Achievement of Arizona. Catherine Tornbaum, Center for Community Dialogue and Training, a program of Our Family Services. David Higuera, Idea School. M. Lane, Southern Arizona Gender Alliance. Heidi Urbina, Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest. Joanna Kyle, Coyote Task Force. Liz Tomey, Pio Decimo Center, an agency of Catholic Community Services. Lori Regal, Arizona's Children Association. Melissa Spiller-Shiner, Step Up to Justice. Scott Tilley, Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. Sunny Ann Holiday, World Care. And Taya Pocock, Humanity 360. Let's give this group a big round of applause because they are a part of the community of change makers here in Tucson. Thank you to all of you for your commitment to yourselves and your commitment to our community. Okay. Yep. Later tonight, you will receive details about the way you can support all of these finalists to continue the work they are doing in our community. So now it's time to hear the 7 2019 Fast Pitch presentations. At the end of tonight's pitches, thousands of dollars will be awarded, including our Audience Choice Award, which is a double win with a 5,000 TEP Power to the People Award and a feature article in Biz Tucson magazine. At the close of the presentation, for those of you who have been here before, you know I'm going to invite you to text to vote. You're going to actually get to submit your vote for your favorite pitch of the evening. And I'm going to share those details with you a little later once we've heard the pitches. For now, get ready to be inspired and moved to action by our 2019 Fast Pitch stage presenters. Please welcome to the stage M. Lane from Southern Arizona Gender Alliance.
Jordan Kofer, Pebbles Ladime Doe, Bailey Reeves, B. Love Slater, Jalila Jamar. These are the names of 5 transgender people who've been murdered since August. In 2019 alone, 21 trans people have been murdered. Of those 21, 19 of them are trans women of color. Good evening. My name is M. Lane, and I'm the president of the board of directors of SAGA, the Southern Arizona Gender Alliance. Our mission is to support, advocate, and promote justice for Southern Arizona's transgender, non-binary, and gender-creative people. We've been improving the lives of people in our community for over 20 years, and we are leaders in advocacy and education. Tragic stories of violence against trans people hit us daily. Hate crimes have risen 9% since 2016. 1 in 4 trans people are denied regular medical care. 1 in 4 are homeless. 1 in 4 lose their jobs. This data is heartbreaking, but it's not hopeless. Education created by transgender people is the critical first step in reducing these statistics. For over 2 decades, SAGA has been training and providing services in the community, and we remain the only trans-led group providing trans-specific education in the Southwest. SAGA trainings eradicate ignorance and violence. Ignorance is the key component in the assault against trans people. Ignorance leads to hate, hate leads to discrimination, and discrimination leads to death. Imagine the pain of a workplace where colleagues misgender you, make jokes at your expense, or call you the wrong name. This happens every day to trans people like me. Now, imagine an organization of peers working to make your authentic voice heard. SAGA trainings are holistic. We develop our curricula from the lens of those most directly affected. We help create policies that make it easier to live and work in the world. We take our trainings to offices, government agencies, nonprofits, homeless shelters. We actively seek opportunities to train across sectors and build bridges to create strong allies in our community. Help us build those bridges. We need support, we need resources, we need advocacy. Your gift of $100 is Spanish translation for 1 presentation. Your gift of $1,000 trains 20 volunteers to do this work. And $30,000 will create a part-time permanent position to train thousands in Southern Arizona. Your gift will honor the lives of Jordan Kofer, Pebbles Ladime Doe, Bailey Reeves, B. Love Slater, Jalila Jamar. SAGA needs you. Thank you.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Glad it's over, right? So, thank you so much for that powerful presentation, and I really hope that the 3 minutes that you had to provide for the audience will resonate with them and result in a lot of donations and support. Thank you so much for addressing a poignant issue that's really important to our country and the world, and I really appreciate what you did in your pitch, so thank you. Thank you. So my question for you is that you mentioned that you're the only group providing the type of services and trainings. Can you give us a little bit of a summary of what the content is of your trainings and why it's vital in the Tucson community?
Yeah, I think we do trainings to sort of two different groups. So we train service providers, so folks that might encounter trans people as clients or who might receive, trans people may receive services from them. And we also train employers, so they may have a trans person that is in their workplace or they need, and it's trans competency training. So what we do is, essentially what it is we tailor our trainings to each organization. We learn about the kind of needs of the folks that they're serving. We bring in a trans person that can speak with a very authentic voice about the needs of the trans community, maybe their own personal story, without putting the pressure on a person who's receiving services or someone who's just trying to go to work every day who happens to be trans. And we come into an organization and train folks in it. That's it. I also maybe wanted to say one more thing, that what's really important about trans-specific training is that I think that all marginalized people should have their own trainings in a group. And yes, there's intersectionality that exists, but it's very important in diversity, equity, and inclusion that we consider trans voices. And I've definitely been at the table for discussions that have just totally missed trans voices. So. Thank you. Thanks.
And now from Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest, Heidi Urbina.
Imagine being forced to flee your home, your country, everything you've ever known, with no idea what the future will hold. When this happened to Cedra, she was just 12 years old. Her family was forced to escape their home in war-torn Syria, and they became refugees in Jordan. For years, Cedra's dad worked to support their family, but working was against the law for refugees, so he was found, separated from the family, and sent back to Syria. Just a few months later, Cedra's family found out that they would be resettled to the United States as refugees, but they would have to leave her dad behind. My name is Heidi Urbina, and I'm the Community Engagement Manager at Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest, where we work together with people like you to stabilize lives during times of crisis and transition. We build foundations for people to thrive, and we preserve dignity and respect for our most vulnerable neighbors. And I have to tell you, it has been my honor over the past 2 years to help welcome refugees from all over the world to our home in Tucson. Refugees like Cedra. Before Cedra and her family arrived, volunteers helped us to find and furnish an apartment that would be their new home. Once they got here, we got Cedra and her younger brother enrolled in school, and Cedra's mom in English classes. Cedra's mom worked with our Women's Empowerment Program to build skills, and we helped her to find the first job she'd had in 17 years. Volunteers and staff work with everyone who arrives for up to 5 years because we know the work doesn't stop when people get off the plane. Since 2014, Lutheran Social Services has helped over 1,500 former refugees make Tucson their home. And our staff who do this work are uniquely qualified because most of them also came as refugees. I've seen the difference it makes for families to be greeted by someone who truly understands their experience. They immediately see that Tucson could be their home too. However, government funding for the United States Resettlement Program has been drastically reduced, so we need you, now more than ever. Today, you can make an impact for a young adult like Cedra and volunteer as a refugee youth mentor. With your gift of $2,500, we can set up 5 more apartments for refugee families. With your gift of $10,000, you ensure 4 more months of one-on-one support for our most vulnerable clients. And with your gift of $20,000, we can hire a part-time staff person to lead the Women's Empowerment Program, providing lasting, sustainable change, confidence, and self-sufficiency for so many former refugees like Cedra and her mom. In 2016, Cedra stepped off the plane in Tucson, unsure of what to expect. She has since graduated from high school. She is fluent in English, and she's attending Pima Community College studying biology. Today, the likelihood of Cedra's dad rejoining their family is very slim. We can advocate for changes, and you can make sure that refugees who are already here have every opportunity to improve their lives. Let's do this together. Thank you.
Hi, Heidi.
Hello.
First, let me thank you for the great work that you do with these disunfortunate people. The world is in a very bad situation, so I really thank you and the people within Lutheran Social Services for the work that you do. And getting settled in a new country can take a long time. How long do you offer your services for a family once they get here? And do you stay with them until they are completely and financially independent? Can you expand a little bit?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. So we can provide services for up to 5 years to everyone who comes. And most of our services happen in those first 6 months. The goal of the U.S. resettlement program is rapid self-sufficiency, so through early employment. So we have employment specialists that work with everyone to help them find a job that will fit with their schedule, with their lives. We have case managers that work with everybody, our women's empowerment program, our volunteers, our education team. Everybody works super hard to help make sure that everyone can be self-sufficient as soon as possible, because that's the key to what we do as empowerment. So, yeah, thank you. Thanks so much.
Now let's welcome Melissa Spiller-Shiner from Step Up to Justice.
We've all faced a family emergency, but for people with limited resources like Sarah and Jamie, that emergency can have a devastating and life-threatening impact. Sarah is a young single mom. When her little one was sick, she lost a week of work and wages. Now she can't pay rent on time, causing them to face eviction and homelessness. Jamie is a warm and vibrant woman trapped in a marriage of abuse and sexual violence. Alone and afraid, she desperately wants to escape the cycle, but she needs help protecting herself and reclaiming her life. Each year, 140,000 low-income Pima County residents like Sarah and Jamie need civil legal assistance, but only 6,000 receive help. We have a solution for you to invest in. My name is Melissa Spiller-Shiner, and I'm the Director of Community Outreach at Step Up to Justice. We're a free legal center for low-income individuals and families, powered by volunteer attorneys and cutting-edge technology. Our staff has 40 years of legal experience, and knowing that thousands of people each year cannot be served by traditional legal aid, we stepped up to build something new. In just 3 years, we've built an organization from the ground up, recruiting 200 volunteer attorneys who have donated 16,000 hours to assist 3,750 clients, driving $4 million of free legal services into our community. Our volunteer model lets us serve clients at a cost per case of $192 versus $1,200 for federally funded legal aid. So we can serve more tenants like Sarah. Our attorney called her landlord, who agreed to accept her rent and late fees. A simple phone call by an attorney helped Sarah and her son avoid eviction. Tenants are 19 times more likely to keep their homes with legal counsel. We've built 25 community partners, and when Jamie was referred to a local shelter, our attorney stepped up, helping her obtain an order of protection and divorce. With an attorney, survivors are 4 times more likely to secure an order of protection against their abuser. As a privately funded pro bono center that doesn't receive federal or state dollars, we need you to step up. Help us connect Pima County's 2,500 attorneys to clients in need. $200 provides legal services for a family. $8,000 annual technology expenses to support client services, and $50,000 hires a full-time law school graduate to coordinate services for an additional 500 clients each year. Since our launch, tenants like Sarah have secured stable housing, and survivors like Jamie can rebuild their lives. Please join us. We invite you to volunteer, donate, and spread the word. We invite you to step up to justice.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Great job and congratulations
Thank you.
on getting here tonight, and really a good job on your pitch.
Thank you.
I think it sounds like a great program, and I'm wondering, how do you mentioned that you reach thousands of people a year and who can't rely on traditional legal aid. How do you get the word out to the community and to the people in need about your services and how to access them?
So the short answer is the word is out about Step Up to Justice. We run multiple court clinics. We have 25 referring agencies that are sending clients to us, and we run Know Your Rights presentations around town. So the real issue isn't letting clients know where we are and who we are. It's really about building capacity to serve the thousands of people who are coming our way. And that's why I'm here tonight, to hopefully help us build our capacity.
Terrific. Well, thank you and congratulations, and thanks for all you do.
Please welcome Scott Tilley with Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids.
Sorry, they were playing Lizzo in the back room, and my Cowboys end's a little off tonight. It's not supposed to be a comic skit, but here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to take you back in time to your 12-year-old self and the relationship you had with your father. Do you remember? I remember big Saturday morning breakfasts, road trips, learning how to steer that old farm truck for the first time. Now imagine losing your father at 12 years old. When I met Tracy, she was struggling with isolation, depression, anxiety, and the loss of her father. And with 2 years of failed traditional therapies, she was spinning farther and farther out of control. She became so violent that her mother could not control her temper anymore. One day, she turned a desk over in class, and the teacher said, "Get out, out." Tracy refused. The classroom was cleared, and police were called. It took 4 officers to remove this kid, kicking and screaming the whole way. I knew this girl needed help, and help fast. I'm Scott Tilley, Executive Director and co-founder of Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. Tracy came into our life skills program and met Bravo, a 1,200-pound horse that would change her life forever. She would learn to control her behavior through an 18-week program that would show her how to train a horse. You see, horses are prey animals, and they will not go anywhere near a dangerous person. However, they are a herd animal, and they want that human bond. With the help of our staff, she would learn coping skills and gain confidence in herself through the love and passion for this horse. After completing our 18-week program, she has A's and B's in school. And the teacher says, "This is a different child, a model student." Tracy's mother broke down, crying, saying this was the only thing that worked, thanking me for saving her daughter's life. My friend Tracy is now a volunteer at our ranch, giving back to the Tucson community. That is our model, transforming children from receiving services to being the service providers. And over the last 12 years, we've found this is a very powerful means of building their self-esteem. This is why I do what I do, being a friend, a role model, and a father to almost 2,000 children this year. Our goal is to reach 3,000, and tonight, you can make the difference. A $100 gift will give a little buckaroo their first ride on a horse. A $2,500 gift will send another child in crisis like Tracy through our 18-week program and change their life forever. Your $20,000 gift will help support our over 80 service animals and impact our community for the future of Tucson. Thank you.
Congratulations, Scott. Job
Thank
well
you.
done.
Thank you.
You mentioned your 18-week program focuses on training horses. So my question is, how are horse training skills applicable to other areas of life?
Well, the ranch really has a way of building common sense, problem-solving skills. It's a learning curve for all of these children that come in. The thing with the horses, you can't fake it with a horse. You could go to a therapist and you could say, I'm having a great day. And even though you're really not having a great day, that therapist is probably going to go along with it. But that horse, you can't fake it. He can see right into your soul. And the empowering that takes place with these young people when training this horse takes place is amazing, and we call it our track magic.
Job well done. Good luck tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
From the Center for Community Dialogue and Training, a program of Our Family Services, please welcome Catherine Tornbaum.
I am conflict. Sitting next to you. I am conflict in your school. I am conflict in your home. This is a story of a youth in a shelter. Anthony. Week 1. He was angry, suspicious. He refused to talk as he passed the talking piece. Week 2, he held the talking piece and said what he said. Week 3, the floodgates opened, and he wholeheartedly participated in the hour. Anthony's story is intense. While his drug-addicted mother was absent, he was taking care of his 4 younger siblings. Anthony was 12 years old. He was terrified they'd be separated if found out. They were. Conflict. I'm Catherine Tornbaum, manager of the Center for Community Dialogue and Training, a program of Our Family Services. For 40 years, the center has been resolving conflict in our community. 4 years, our program has been helping youth like Anthony resolve conflict in their schools and at home. Our program works. We create a safe, neutral place for middle and high school youth with tangled and complicated lives. We teach them conflict resolution skills, and we support their courage, like we did with Anthony. Our work matters. More than 1 in every 4 students report being bullied in school. When bystanders intervene, more than half of all bullying situations stop. We impact those statistics we invite you to help us expand our work. For $200, you can train 2 facilitators. For $2,500, you can translate our materials into Spanish. And you can help us expand into 5 more middle schools with programming and facilitators for $38,000. Now is the time to face into conflict and support youth like Anthony. Thank you.
Catherine, thank you so much for your presentation. It sounds like your organization is amazing. How's Anthony doing now?
Well, we have HIPAA, so.
Okay, sources say.
They were reunited eventually.
So he's doing good. Okay.
Yeah.
You said that your organization impacts the statistics on bullying. Can you give me an example of how you've done that?
We have had the opportunity to do some research, beginning to do that with LaCroix and Milligan. We took a 3-month period and we worked with 60 youth. 23% of them returned their surveys, their journals to us so that we could take a look at their learning. And all 23 had movement of 1 to 2 points on scale. There we go. And they reported that their skill increased in how they worked with words, because how you intervene matters. You know, if you come with words of peace as of greater anger. They also reported greater skill. We had a number of the youth report that they intervened in situations. A couple of them where they stopped their friend who was the bully. Sometimes they were able to defend themselves in a peaceful way, and sometimes they stood up to another. We also asked staff to provide their feedback during the period. And one of them reported that witnessed where one of the youth had finished and he immediately was thrust into a situation and he was able to de-escalate it and prevent it from moving into something more dangerous. So it's at that level that we're working on measuring our impact.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Testing 1, 2, testing.
Next to the stage is David Higuera with Idea School. David.
I've been told we might have some technical difficulties here, so bear with me if that's the case. Jamal joined us last year as a second grader. He wasn't reading, and his mom was worried that at his old school, he would fall through the cracks. You see, this had been her experience in school. She fell behind young, was placed in a remedial program, and then just kept there, all the way through high school. She told me I never learned what I needed to. When Jamal joined us, he did not trust teachers, and he thought that he too was just a bad student. Hi, I'm David Higuera, and I'm the co-director and co-founder of the Idea School. We're a nonprofit K-8 school located at the historic Dunbar Pavilion, where students grow to take charge of their learning and therefore their lives. 9 in 10 of our students attend on need-based aid, and half qualify for free or reduced lunch. Too many kids today are disengaged by school, or worse, have arrived at the conclusion it's not for them. This is an especially pernicious problem for children living in poverty, as 1 in 4 kids in Tucson are, as Jamal is. We must give these kids the same opportunity as more affluent kids have to take charge of their learning. The challenge is about much more than reading and math scores, or whether you're quote unquote at grade level. It's about the very idea our students develop about who they are and what they can accomplish. You see, if we continue to define achievement so narrowly, we are telling generations of talented, creative, brilliant young people that they are none of those things. That has consequences. In America today, 7 in 10 kids growing up in poverty will remain there as adults. 7 in 10. These kids, our kids, need us to start doing things differently. Research shows it's the soft skills like collaboration and perseverance that influence our educational outcomes, employment, and earnings more than grades and test scores do. This was one of the big ideas, in fact, that led us to create the Idea School. Every day, we prioritize social and emotional learning, and our student outcomes show it. When Jamal joined us, we met him where he was. There goes the mic. We provided him a safe space in which to grow and helped him see the many ways in which he was already achieving. Because of this, he grew to trust us and to accept our reading support. Today, Jamal loves school. He's eager to learn, and most importantly, the idea he holds about who he is as a learner has shifted. And yes, Jamal has learned to read as well. At spring conferences last year, Jamal read a book to his mom and brought her to tears. Tonight, you can help children take charge of their education. For $300, you will help us build our library with books that appeal to emergent young readers like Jamal. For $3,000, you will help Jamal and his classmates develop their unique ideas in science, engineering, and the arts by providing the classroom materials they need for the year. For $30,000, you will help us make this extraordinary education accessible to 10 more low-income families in Tucson. Let's open doors of opportunity for more kids like Jamal. Thank you for making this idea possible.
Thank you, David. Enjoyed the
Marty.
message of hope.
Thank you.
I would like to ask about the soft skills that you described, some of the social skills and collaboration and perseverance, and how those skills that you teach at your school will help with the children's growth and learning life skills beyond school.
Thank you for that question. Yeah, it really was one of the founding pillars when we decided to start this school was that we would have a really strong focus on these social emotional skills because, of course, children are first children and second students. And so it influences how we hire, how we develop our staff, the ratios we keep, and we really believe strongly that this is an everyday activity. So we're looking at opportunities throughout the day, every day, to help kids identify and be able to articulate these skills, to be able to see them in one another and see them in themselves, and we're taking every opportunity to model. So, yeah, I mean, the research is starting to really show the connection between these kinds of skills and successful adulthood outcomes. Our job is to make sure we make it part of every day in education. Thank you.
Thank you.
And for our final pitch of the night, R.C. Cornidez with Help and Hope for Youth, a program of the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, of Southern Arizona.
By the time I conclude my pitch, 9 individuals will have taken their own lives. That's our entire panel of judges and 2 audience members. Suicide kills more people ages 10 to 24 than homicide, heart disease, and diabetes combined, yet it's entirely preventable. Arizona has higher rates of mental illness among our children, yet literally the lowest access to care. Our student-to-counselor ratio is triple the national average. Imagine, 1 counselor to twice as many of you seated here tonight. My name is R.C. Cornidez, and I'm the project director for Help and Hope for Youth, an initiative of the National Alliance of Mental Illness, NAMI. We are an alliance of organizations working together to advocate, educate, and support mental health and suicide prevention efforts. after participating in our programs, 80% of youth report knowing how to help themselves or a friend. The truth is, mental health issues impact everyone. When I was 12, I vividly remember the knots in my stomach and holding back my tears as I experienced what I now know was my first anxiety attack. You know what my parents gave me? Garlic pills. But I'm not alone. In elementary school, Anne felt different and was constantly anxious. In middle school, she was bullied for being overweight. And by 8th grade, she was thinking about suicide. She didn't know she has anxiety and depression. She didn't know what was going on, but her friends took action. And that's because they had mental health education. They got her the support she needed. Our stories are not unique, yet they often have a more tragic ending. 1 in 5 youth have a mental health condition. With the shame and stigma that surround mental illness, our youth are afraid of asking for help and don't know where to turn. As a high school freshman, Anne suffered an assault. She started thinking about suicide again. This time, with our help, she was able to advocate for herself and get the support she needed. Today, a junior in high school, Anne excels in school, has a great support system, and takes care of her mental health. You can be part of many more success stories like Anne's. With your donation of $150, an entire school faculty can take part in a mental health education class. With your investment of $5,000, we can start to develop a peer support curriculum and face-to-face training for kids like Anne's friends who saved her life. And with your contribution of $40,000, we can take this statewide to launch a critical mental health and suicide prevention campaign. It is our responsibility to do better. Each of you has a role to play. I implore you to volunteer, join our alliance, help stop stigma, and start the conversation. Thank you.
Good job, RC.
Thank you.
And thank you for the work that you do. The question that I have for you is, you said that suicide was the second leading cause of death for our youth. What do you wish people would know about mental health? Or what is the biggest misconception you would like to clarify?
Thank you for asking that. And actually, it's a very simple answer. The fact is, we all have a brain, so we all have mental health. There's a huge misconception that only individuals living with a mental illness or mental diagnosis have mental health. But just like we take care of our body, we have to take care of our mind. So.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's give our stage presenters a big round of applause. In a 2-month period, they went from creating the message and learning the communication skills needed to most effectively deliver their message in front of this audience, to becoming even more powerful presenters ready to further their work, making big changes in our community. Thank you, presenters. Now, here is your chance to be heard. Tonight's presenters have delivered their pitches, and now it's time for you to choose the audience finalist. In just a moment, we will open the poll for our Audience Choice Award. And this is the $5,000 TEP Power to the People Award, plus the Biz Tucson magazine feature article. And you will be able to text in your vote for the pitch that moved you the most. So, polling is going to begin in 10 minutes. And the text codes for each organization, as you will see, were up on the screen. Text their code to 22333. And I just have to warn you, each phone gets one text. I know you all want to go in and text a lot of them, but we've set it up so that you can only do it once. These slides will loop, And the polls are now open, so pull out those phones and start texting. And please be sure to stay with us. In just about 15 minutes, we will be back to award our prizes, including yours. Okay. We have a lot going on back there. Doing my best to try to keep it together. Thank you for participating in the vote. You will soon know which presentation was chosen for the Audience Choice Award. But before that happens, I want to take a few moments to acknowledge this is the 5th year SVP Tucson has presented this program to the community. Thank you. It's hard to believe that 5 years have gone by, and each year you have helped make Fast Pitch an incredible success. With this success, you have helped organizations in our community have a positive impact for the many people they serve. So if you would grant me a few moments, I'd like to share a video with you that we put together to celebrate these 5 years.
SVP Tucson is an ever-expanding community of engaged philanthropists. We call them partners, dedicated to building the capacity, strength, and impact of nonprofits addressing social problems. And at SVP, all we see is potential. 5 years ago, SVP brought something new to Tucson, Fast Pitch. Designed to support and amplify the vital work of our community's most innovative nonprofits, Fast Pitch has done that, and so much more.
I think it helps people professionally and personally grow. One room with 500 people listening to pitches. It's a way to pull us all together.
I still run into people almost once a month who say, I remember you from Fast Pitch, I remember your organization. And for nonprofits, that is such a valuable experience. It taught us how to tell our story.
We have connected to the community in a way that we hadn't before. Theater is something that we thought of as really unique to a certain group of people, but by crafting this pitch with my mentors, I was able to tell a story that was meaningful to everyone in Tucson, not just the people that were already in love with Live Theater Workshop.
For us as an organization, it was truly the launching off point. We have grown our organizational budget by $500,000 since we participated in Fast Pitch, and that was doubling it. But we've grown our capacity to double as well, and it's all because SVP helped us get the word out. There is no way that SARSF would be where it is today without Fast Pitch.
I love being a Fast Pitch mentor. Watching them learn the communication skills and gaining the confidence to be able to share that information with donors or the community it's transformational.
My experience of over 35 years of working with nonprofits is people don't know how to develop a message and they don't know how to deliver it. And that's what we teach them to do. We are about building capacity with organizations. It's really like our top goal, and so this is a major component of that goal. You can't build capacity with an organization if they don't know how to talk about what they do.
you often speak the same message, in fundraising or directing a program or an organization, and you don't always know what people hear. This allowed me to really create a crystal clear message, one that could be heard, one that people would feel something with, some sort of emotion, and it put us on the map.
Fast Pitch is passion, energy, and information. Throughout the process of Fast Pitch, it was also a christening where a lot of people that are involved now or going to be involved, they found out through the Fast Pitch.
2 years later, I feel like a different person. I am more confident. I am more sure of myself. I'm a better manager. I'm a better advocate. All of these things I think I can directly link to Fast Pitch.
In the past 5 years, Fast Pitch has developed leaders, transformed organizations, and elevated important conversations. SVP Tucson thanks the many people who have made this all possible. Tonight, we give a special thank you to the person whose dedication and inspiration brought Fast Pitch to Tucson, Dr. John Smith.
Thank you, John, for bringing Fast Pitch to Tucson. It's an amazing program.
John, thank you for being our inspirational leader, for believing in Fast Pitch, but even when other people didn't, and for being there every single step of the way.
I don't know how else to say it other than thank you so much, John.
Tucson is a better place because of Fast Pitch and because of the work you've done with Fast Pitch.
Thank you, John. From me to you.
John, thank you so much for bringing this opportunity to our Tucson community.
Hey, John. I just want to thank you so much for being such a forward thinker when looking at what we could bring to this community that would help in skills development for nonprofits. It takes a forward thinker like yourself to see that and know that it's important that we must have it. So thank you for bringing that program here.
Pursuing my master's degree in nonprofit leadership, and I really think that Fast Pitch was a lot of the reason that I felt like I could do that. And so, John, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so, so much.
Thank you for your leadership, your guidance, your mentorship, and above all, your friendship.
John, thank you so much for what you have brought to the community. I think we all long to leave some kind of legacy like you have given Tucson. So congratulations.
At this time, I would like to bring out my buddy, my friend, my coworker, my mentor, someone who's very special, our CEO, Sierra Garcia.
Oh, hello, everybody. I think I just shed a few tears backstage watching that video, even though I've seen it a few times. My heart is filled with so much joy and so much gratitude to all of you for being here tonight, to the many people who make Fast Pitch possible, and to Dr. John Smith. From my heart to yours, thank you so very much. So at this time, I'd like to bring back on stage our 2019 Fast Pitch participants. Right here. So I've had the fortunate opportunity to spend the evening backstage with all of them, giving hugs and high fives and pep talks. And I just want to say to all of you, I am so proud. I'm so honored to be able to do this work. So thank you. I'd also like to invite Jane McCollum from the Marshall Foundation to come on stage with us right now. Thank you. So on behalf of the Marshall Foundation, each of the stage presenters will receive a $1,000 award. You want to pass the check on? Okay, thank you all. We couldn't quite figure out how to bring 7 big checks on stage, So in addition to the finalist awards that each organization just received, we have 6 more awards to give out tonight. Each award has been decided upon by a different group. In fact, an organization could win more than 1 award. And I'm as excited as you are to see who tonight's winners are. So let's get this started. I'd like to invite Joseph Howell from City to the stage. Come on through here. And Joseph is going to reveal the winner of City's Welcoming What's Next Award. Saga. And the winner is Saga. Let's get together. John Peter?
Sorry. The next award is the Arizona Complete Health Community Transformation Award presented by Greg Taylor. And Greg, who is the award going to?
The Idea School.
The Idea School. We gotta move in.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, so I'd like to invite my friends from the Connie Hillman Family Foundation to join me. Carrie Rednauer, Susan Villarreal, and Larry Adamson. Let's get the check right there in the middle. Okay, will you show us who's winning your award tonight? Show and tell.
All right.
Help and Hope for Youth, NAMI. Thank you.
Now, to present tonight's Judges Award, please welcome Lindsay Welch.
Stand on through here.
So, okay, go.
NAMI.
NAMI.
Helping. I told you, anything can happen on this stage tonight.
That's right.
Okay, the one I think you've all been waiting for, the winner of the Audience Choice Award, which includes the TEP Power to the People $5,000 Award and a feature article in Biz Tucson Magazine. I'm inviting Wendy Erica Worden and all of her TPEP friends on stage. Come on through. Okay, will you reveal and tell us who the winner is?
We'll give you a hint.
Track.
Track.
You're welcome.
congratulate. Okay, come on over here with your check. Okay, thank you very much. I think this is our favorite part of the night. Okay, so it's our final award for the evening, and I'd like to invite Dr. John Smith to present the SVP Tucson Award.
Thank you.
You deserve it.
You're going to be in the
Come on through.
So,
The SVP Award. The final award of the night goes to Lutheran Social Service.
thank you, John. I just want to say thank you again to all 14 finalists and tonight's presenters who shared their stories. Thank you to Kristen Merrifield for your message reminding us of the importance of working together to support our community-based organizations and taking time to listen to their inspiring stories.
So earlier tonight, I shared that there would be many ways for you to get involved, and here's your chance. You can support one or all of the 14 nonprofits that participated in our 2019 Fast Pitch program. And as Fast Pitch grows and changes, so do the ways that you can give. This year, we have an option that allows you to donate right from your cell phone. So go ahead, pull out your phones. So similar to our text to vote process, the codes for the nonprofits are on the screen here behind me. Simply text the corresponding nonprofit code to 44321. Then click on the link that they send to you and make the donation for the amount of your choosing. It really is that simple. Located on your seats, you'll find a donation card that has these instructions and the nonprofit codes. If you happen to prefer a more personalized donation approach, or you want to give with cash or check, we have a designated donation station located right outside the auditorium door, across from the SVP table in the lobby. Our volunteers will be happy to assist you in making your generous donation there. I hope that all of you are inspired into action, and I hope that you'll join us in the lobby for some dessert, some drinks, and an opportunity to get to know these nonprofits a little better. Thank you.
Thank you, and see you in the lobby.
You are changing the world.